Hey folks, we're going to talk about Corvee. I'm going to talk about FeedbackWrench websites and ads for accountants, bookkeepers, and CPA firms. We're going to dive right in here. If you go to feedbackwrench.com, and if you were to go over here to accountants and bookkeepers, take a look at our work. We set up websites, ads, and search engine optimization for accounting firms, CPA firms, bookkeeping firms, and we will make sure that you have a setup that is a fantastic salesperson. Our websites and ads will keep your sales funnel full. And I want to talk about Corvee, okay? I have a couple of videos out there talking about whether or not I like Corvee. What am I learning? I have helped scores of accountants that have been using Corvee, and I have some advice here. Is Corvee worth it? It's about, I think it's like $700 to $1,500 a month. I think it usually is about $1,000 a month. And the whole thing with Corvee that they teach is, number one, you get a software that will go through and find a systematic way for you to provide tax planning. You are generally then coached, the second part, to approach businesses with this idea that you can save them lots in taxes. And by doing a tax plan, you're able to put money back in their pocket rather than just doing the traditional taxes, bookkeeping, and boring accounting services. Well, Corvee has its place. It's good. But if I were to really get into it, Corvee has a series of questions that you need to fill out. The way this whole thing works is it asks for inputs. You put these inputs from the tax return in there. It'll ask some questions that do spur on the accountant to find and identify strategies for tax savings. But generally speaking, it's only as good as the information you put in there. That's not bad. That's how most of these softwares work, right? But I would challenge you. I think your $1,000 a month would be far better used coming on board to FeedbackWrench. I'm being pretty overt about this. Come to FeedbackWrench. I have a course that I give you when you do a website with us. Our websites are $4,500, $7,500, or $12,000. And then we have an SEO package where we create content while you get reviews and we build up backlinks to your website so that over time you become the 10-ton gorilla in your local search engine optimization. So you show up for CPA near Minneapolis, CPA near St. Paul, CPA near me, bookkeepers near Minneapolis, all the local area. We know how to make it so that you show up and dominate and grow over time in your local Google business profiles for local searches. Then the second thing is we're really good at helping you dominate niches, industry niches. So for contractors, for home builders, concrete companies, masonry contractors, pressure washers, whatever that is, digital marketing agencies like myself, I understand how to get your page, your messaging, your PPC, your SEO all lined up so that when people are searching for accountants for HVAC contractors, they will find you. And we know how to do that. And it takes a while. You got to invest in it. But that's a much better use of your $1,000 a month. And then if you line up to sell the way I sell, and that's what I'm going to talk about, it's all about the approach to sales on a tax plan, much more than about the actual tax plan. So Corvee, again, has its place, not bad. It has a cool visual. It's basically a future value calculator on the savings. So it's going to help you find some savings. It's going to print out this amazing PDF. It does position you and show you how to sell tax planning rather than just the boring tax services, which are more valuable, generally speaking. However, it really is just a simple future value calculator on the savings that you're going to achieve. And usually those savings are just a combination of some really simple stuff. Maximizing an S-Corp. Making sure that you're doing everything possible to mitigate your self-employment taxes. The second thing, utilizing retirement plans. Utilizing proper deductions. Looking at the home office deductions. Making sure it has questions in there to make sure that you don't forget to do the home office deductions and the different write-offs that you need. And it proposes things that you'll want to engage with. But here's what I know to be true. It's not perfect, which is expected, right? But when you get into Corvee, you're going to have to carefully analyze the information that it's getting you because it's just software-based. It isn't actually tied into the IRS or anything like that. And I've become a little bit more critical of it because of this. And this is what I want to dive into here, okay? So number one, when you're working with us, I have some coaching. The first thing I want to hit on is I want to talk about what is it that causes a business owner to really appreciate you as an accountant so that you can charge high retainers. I'm going to move fast through this, Book a consultation if you like the idea of getting set up with a website that actually sells and converts high retainer business clients, that ranks in search engine optimization, that positions you with benefits, that does retargeting so you can stay in front of people. That's what we specialize in. We will make your website an amazing salesperson and prospecting person so you can focus on your business. And we just do it all. It's all me and my little team of 3. We do the writing. We're a small business. We're family owned. So the number one thing the business owners appreciate is they do want mitigated taxes. They don't want just their tax returns done. They don't want only bookkeeping. So Corvee talks about this, right? Well, taxes saved is one thing. They also want to build tax efficient wealth. They need to do that. The second thing that they appreciate is that they want peace of mind. They want to mitigate their risk, and they want IRS protection. That's all common sense. The peace of mind, I love it when I know I'm paid up and my wife asks me in quarter 3, hey, honey, are we going to owe $10,000? Are we going to get $10,000 back? The peace of mind of knowing that I've been paying in taxes, that I am caught up, that I don't have big risks, that I haven't done it wrong, I haven't double counted my revenue, that I am utilizing a tax plan and I'm not overpaying and that things are being done right, that's super valuable, okay? You know that. And then the third thing, this is where, I'm telling you folks, this is the most valuable part to an accountant. When you can help a business owner save in time and labor, you can help them build efficiencies and productivities into their business. When you can serve as a staff replacement, and then ultimately the biggest dollars that you'll attract as an accountant is when you start to become a CFO, a fractional outsourced chief financial officer. The reason why I'm bringing up these value propositions is because when you understand that taxes saved is important. Notice how down here, this is getting your taxes done right. This is making sure your bookkeeping is done right. But they do want to build tax efficient wealth, and they want their taxes mitigated. But the true thing that you can do is you want to sell services that hit all 3 of these. And if you can help them build a more scalable and profitable business that's heading upward and forward through these stages, you're going to be seen as far more valuable. And it's so easy when you replace a tax, or when you're replacing Patty part-time, or I call her, that part-time accountant that's going to come in and help them do their bookkeeping, their accounting or whatever, probably come in 2 days a week, maybe a part-time mom or dad that maybe needs some side gig work. Construction businesses across the United States has a person like that in there. When you do the math at $30 an hour at 8 to 16 hours a week, they're going to spend thousands of dollars on a staff person who, quite frankly, it's just going to cause more mess. If while you're selling in your process, you're good at framing up all 3 of these value propositions, and I show you exactly how to do this, you're going to have some success. Now, Corvee says selling a tax plan is fantastic. I think that they go about it wrong, and I'm going to talk about that here. But I have a process here where you will connect with people, you'll do an analysis to find tax savings and problems that need solving, then you'll show a proposal. Before you show the proposal, you're going to talk about the taxes you've identified that can be saved. You're going to talk about the price that they're currently paying for their accountant. Then you're going to talk about the value of a staff alternative. You're going to put a little meat on the bone to say, hey, if I can save you 8 hours in staff time a week at $30 an hour, that's $240 a week. That's $960-ish a month. It's about $12,000 in staff cost saving that I'm going to get you. So you show them the taxes saved, you show them how much time and staff time you're going to save them. Then you show them everything they're going to get from you. And in my model, it's all about the stack of value of everything, okay? And our websites are built to sell this. My coaching equips you to sell this. Here's everything that's included. I'm going to clean up and establish a perfect chart of accounts. I'm going to provide an in-depth tax plan and financial plan. But I'm going to go in and I'm going to build you a tax reduction plan, and then you're going to implement it. See, the core crux in how Corvee coaches is to go in, find how much they're going to save by using their calculator, show them this fancy thing, sell the tax plan, and then you're going to help them implement it a little bit. But let's be frank. Tax planning is something that ebbs and flows as your business changes. And I'm going to hit on this because we're going to talk about how a business scales, which this is really important for you to understand. How are you going to sell super meaningful, powerful, valuable, retainer-based accounting business? That's what we're going to do here, okay? And I think tax planning is one little part of this, and having a really fancy tax plan, I'm Minnesotan, a really fancy tax plan with a great future value calculator doesn't matter. It's just one little part of it, and it's going to ebb and flow. Nobody knows in quarter 2 exactly what their income is going to be at the end of quarter 4. So as your tax plan changes, as your income changes throughout the year as a business owner, and a tax plan is just a super basic starter. And it's usually the S-Corp, the benefits, maybe the Augusta rule. Maybe you're going to hire your kids, set up another business and start paying that business, have the kids work in that business. Maybe you're going to buy rental real estate and you're going to start having a buy and hold real estate with depreciation and cost segregation. And then you're going to pay a rental fee over to that. Maybe you're going to do that. But guess what? You don't need Corvee to tell you how to do that. Now, there's certainly deductions and things that you're going to need. There are other tools you'll probably need to help you with tax planning. But in general, here's where the big tax planning comes. And this is what I want you to know. The things you find in Corvee are important, but it's a flash in the pan. It's important. You want to show them how you're going to save them $20,000 a year, $10,000 a year, $5,000 a year, whatever that is, with an S-Corp and a retirement plan and benefits and fringe benefits and S-Corp this, whatever it is. Yes, but real tax planning, we gotta shift a little bit. So I want to walk through the 5 stages of business ownership because this is the most important thing for you to know in order for you to find meaningful work to do for these business owners, in order for you to add huge value, get in front of the right people, be able to charge $750 to $3,500 a month in retainer, and be able to help save them a lot in taxes. So business owners always start the same. There's a bunch of dreamers. They don't do anything. They got a bunch of questions. They have no money. Then they start. Usually they leave and they take their existing employer's best client, right? So you take their best client and you shift, you become self-employed. And let's just say you're a masonry contractor. You're hustling buns, you're getting jobs, maybe you got 1 or 2 contracts, and you get through the first year and by golly, you didn't lose your house. And you're like, oh, thank God. And then you get into it and you're about a year and a half and all of a sudden you're starting to build some cash, but you're tired. You've been doing everything yourself. And now you're going to want to build a team around you. And as you start to hire the first person, the second person, the third person, you're going to be in this stage of managing a team for a while. And the income has to increase. The margins have to be managed. The stakes are higher. You're going to have to spend on advertising probably. Referrals become important. Hiring, firing. You have 1099s. You have W-2s. Things get complex right here. And the value of that business owner's time becomes incredibly higher. This is a good spot. The next thing is let's say, so I have a friend right now who is at the top end of this. He has about 4 or 5 employees. They're all at capacity. For him to grow the next level, he needs to really get in position to scale. And he's going to have to create an empowered system. He's probably going to have a manager and get somebody to do estimating and some people in staff. But if he does it right and he documents it, he could probably she could have a sellable franchise, right? So here's the great dilemma. Your best clients are right here. And I'm telling you, while the taxes are important, and no, I haven't met a business owner yet that wants to round up and pay more in taxes. The key here is that you have to intersect with these folks and propose the idea that the way they're getting served now is not good enough. Tax planning is a huge part of that. You're probably overpaying in taxes. But really what they want to do is we all want to scale at some degree. Even those that don't want to get huge, they don't want to have to do everything themselves. As accountants, you need to be a guide to help bring them from here to there. And the there is a more scalable and more profitable business. And why does this matter about Corvee? How does this play in? I believe your tax plan requires engagement throughout the year to provide true guidance because real tax planning helps this come to life. Investing properly in new equipment, new people, new machinery, in exchange instead of handing it to the state. Okay, here's the truth. Real tax planning is going to help people decide, should they depreciate their new excavator How does that line up with their amortization schedules? Should they buy that new pressure washing truck? And when you're doing that, what's the replacement rate? Should you do it this year or next year? Should you depreciate it or should you try and get bonus depreciation? How long are you going to hold on to that for? Are you going to hire and scale? If you hire and scale, can you afford the necessary marketing spend to get up into the place where you can continue to feed all those new mouths? Folks, to do real tax planning, you have to be engaged in that process throughout the year, okay? And if you're engaged in that process throughout the year, you better either know the bookkeeper intimately or be doing the bookkeeping by yourself. I believe that my value proposition of this stack of services where you get them onboarded, you clean up their books and establish a perfect chart of accounts. I'm going to provide an in-depth analysis of your taxes and your financial situation. You're going to ask them about their cash, their savings, their investments. What are they trying to do? I'm going to create a comprehensive tax reduction plan for the current year and the future year, identifying how to keep more of what you make. I'll provide excellent bookkeeping every month, keeping you up to date and doing it to perfection. We'll set you up with the best payroll and either run it for you or equip your staff to do it. I'm not going to let you get stuck in payroll. I'm not saying you do payroll for everybody, but you're going to make this easy for them. The year-end reporting, all that nonsense. We'll pay in your taxes throughout the year according to the tax plan, which eliminates year-end surprises, never overpaying or having a big tax bill. Landing the plane for your business owners so that they don't get a big tax return, they don't have a big tax bomb go off. That's huge. And that needs to be in line with good, basically CFO level advice where you're creating financial plans to take what would be taxable and reinvest it into the business wisely. And yes, maximize the S-Corp. Yes, do the simple 401k or the simple IRA, solo 401k, whatever that is, okay? But to spend $1,000 a month on a fancy future value calculation using Corvee, what I've found is it doesn't do what you want it to do. Plus, there's a bad dynamic there. You're going to do the monthly and quarterly reports and management dashboards. We'll meet before the year end to make major tax mitigation decisions around investments, purchases, and strategies. We'll close out your books and perform high levels of year-end reporting. We'll make year-end taxes a breeze, particularly since we've been doing all the bookkeeping. It's easy. If you've been paying in the taxes, you've been providing tax planning, and you've been doing the bookkeeping throughout the year, or you know the bookkeeper intimately, this becomes a breeze. Then I'm going to prepare and file your taxes, and we'll guide you to build tax-efficient wealth by providing guidance. This stack is my outsourced accounting stack. And what I've found is that while tax planning is one part of it, true tax planning is engaging throughout the year. If you're not engaged with your client throughout the year, it's dumb to do a tax plan. All you're going to do is tell them that there's stuff you could do, but it might change probably because their income goes like this. And depending on what they're trying to achieve, you need to be in line with where they're trying to head. You need to know their goals. Now, I'm not saying Corvee doesn't help you do that, but for $1,000 a month, are you kidding me? The ads that we set up or the SEO that we do costs between $500 and $3,500 a month, depending on what you're doing and what time of your business, okay? And what that will do is get people to come in and join your outsourced accounting service. And when you're disciplined on that, and when you get them in and you say, look, I can tell right now that if you work with me, I'm going to be able to save you about $7,000 a year in taxes, and you're currently spending $2,000 in bookkeeping and tax returns, we'll do all that. If I think as you grow into who you're trying to become as a business, we're going to serve as a staff alternative. You will hire later on because of us. That at 8 hours, again, then you bring them to something like this. If that means you avoid hiring an 8-hour-a-week person, if that's $30 an hour, that's $960 a month that you won't have to spend on a staff person. We'll do that for you. If you make them realize, because that's really what it is, folks. By you, they're outsourcing to you and your team, and you get done in 2 seconds, what takes them an hour, and you don't have to clean up the mess that Patty part-timer makes. Let's be frank. If you're doing the tax return and the tax planning, you're looking at the bookkeeping, if it's not good, you're going to question that. I'm not saying you have to do the bookkeeping, but I recommend that you do it. And then show everything that they get combined, that giant list I showed you. You show them this, and then you bring them down here and you say, and for what you're doing, you'll get all of this, and that'll be $900 a month. So now what you've done is, instead of you using the Corvee model where you go in and you try and get them to pay you a big upfront fee for this tax plan, and then you have to implement it, and then you have to do everything else, I'm telling you, this model is what business owners need. This is what they need. They don't need you to charge them $7,000, $20,000 for a tax plan. And even if you do that, your yes is harder. It's harder to sell a one-time thing, whereas a monthly is easier. And if you're going to do the tax plan, you might as well implement it. And if you're standing in front of a business owner, why waste your bullets on trying to close one giant tax plan and maybe some ongoing ones periodically? Why not have them just do it for me? I'm telling you, that's what you should be spending your bullets on. That's what you should be spending your equity, your trust equity that you've built with this client. Go for the outsourced accounting close at a monthly billing rather than trying to do a big upfront tax plan. Good luck. God bless. Folks, go take a look at our websites. Go take a look at FeedbackWrench.com. Look at our websites. Read our reviews. I'm telling you, we are making accountants so much money, and we're here to serve you. When you come in here, we have 112 5-star reviews, and I'm telling you, it's because we treat you right. It's because we know how to generate ads or generate revenue for you. And I'm pretty soft on this. If I were to go in and start showcasing, here's my client that did X amount and Y amount. No, our work speaks for itself. Go look at our customers' situations, and what you're going to find is that they're going well. And so you can go here. All of our websites we do. So our pricing, just so you know, is between $4,500. We have 3 packages that are kind of like the upfront setups. It's either $4,500, $7,500, or $12,000 or $11,500. We have monthly installments you can do. I'm even toying with a 12-month option as well. And we do this when you get set up with us, you get your website. We set up all your ads for you. They're under your hood. You buy this and you have this. And then we have the search engine optimization. We have the niche marketing. We have the location domination, location SEO. We know how to get you to rank for all the local stuff, all the niche stuff, and we know how to drive stuff with lead magnets or whatever that is. Give us a call. We'll start with a consultation. We also, if you come on board, I give you my course. If you come on board, you're going to get the coaching and the training that you need, and I serve as a consultant to do this. So we'd love the opportunity to connect with you. Good luck and God bless.